If you earn money, but somehow never seem to keep it, this story is for you. In the richest city of the ancient world, there lived a man who knew a secret that turned a poor scribe into the richest man in Babylon. This story is a financial parable, but its lessons are still used by investors today. Because the problem isn't earning money, it's keeping it. And tonight, you're about to understand why. Let us begin with a simple observation. Most people do not struggle to earn money. They struggle to keep it. They wake early. They work long hours. They exchange time for income. And yet, at the end of each month, there is a quiet, persiste question. Where did it all go? The money does not vanish in a single moment. It fades, gradually, through habits that feel harmless, through decisions that feel justified, through patterns that go unnoticed. A small purchase to reward a hard day, an upgrade that seems deserved, a cost that feels insignificant until it repeats. Individually, these choices appear minor. Collectively, they shape financial outcomes. Now, many assume the solution is obvious. Earn more. And for a time, that may seem to work. A higher income brings relief, a sense of progress, a belief that things are finally changing. But then, something subtle begins to happen. Expenses expand, not out of necessity, but out of adaptation. A better lifestyle becomes the new baseline. Comfort becomes expectation. Discretionary spending becomes routine. And so, the gap between earning and keeping remains unchanged. This pattern is not accidental. It is behavioral. Economists might describe it as lifestyle inflation. But in simpler terms, it is the tendency to rise without retaining, to gain without securing. And over time, this pattern creates a cycle. Earn more, spend more, repeat. No accumulation, no leverage, no lasting progress. Now, consider this carefully. If income alone created wealth, then the highest earners would always be the richest. But that is not what we observe. There are individuals with modest incomes who quietly build substantial wealth. And there are others with extraordinary earnings who struggle to maintain it. The difference is not opportunity. It is behavior. It is understanding. And most importantly, it is structure. This is not a modern phenomenon. It is not caused by technology, or inflation, or complexity. It is human. Thousands of years ago, in the ancient city of Babylon, the same pattern existed. Babylon was, by every measure, a center of wealth. Trade flourished. Gold flowed. Opportunity was abundant. And yet, most people were not wealthy. They labored. They earned. But they did not accumulate. Their efforts sustained them, but did not elevate them. Among these people were two men. Bansir, a master craftsman, builder of chariots, and Kobe, a musician of notable skill. They were disciplined. They were capable. They were not idle. And still, their purses remained light. One day, overcome by frustration, Bansir paused his work. Not because he lacked the ability to continue, but because he lacked the means. His tools were ready, his orders unfinished, yet his resources were gone. And in that still moment, he asked a question that would alter everything. Why is it that we who work the hardest seem to gain the least? It is a question that transcends time, a question that reveals a deeper truth. Effort alone is not enough. Understanding must follow. And so, when Kobe arrived, the conversation shifted from frustration to intention. If they did not understand money, they would learn it, not from theory, not from assumption, but from someone who had solved the problem, someone who had once been poor and was poor no longer, a man whose wealth was known throughout all Babylon, a man named Arkad. Arkad. His name was known throughout Babylon, not because he was born into wealth, but because he had created it. This, more than anything, was what made him different. In a city filled with opportunity, many had tried to become wealthy, but few had succeeded, and fewer still understood why. Bansir and Kobi had heard of Arkad before. Everyone had. He was spoken of with a certain curiosity and, at times, disbelief. How can one man, they would ask, possess so much, while others, who work just as hard, have so little? This question followed them as they walked through the streets of Babylon, past merchants selling goods, past laborers carrying heavy loads, past men who, like them, worked and earned and spent. Everywhere they looked, they saw the same pattern. Effort was common, wealth was not, and so they made a decision not to work harder, not to hope for luck, but to seek understanding, because somewhere in Babylon there existed a difference, a principle, a rule, a way of thinking that separated those who kept money from those who did not. And if that difference could be learned, it could be repeated. Eventually, they found Arkad. He was not surrounded by luxury in the way they expected. There were no grand displays, no excessive symbols. Instead, there was calm, order, a quiet sense of control. This, perhaps, was the first sign that his wealth was not accidental. Bansir spoke first. Arkad, he said, we have come to ask you something simple, and yet, for us, it has no answer. We work, we earn, but our purses remain empty. Tell us, what is the difference between you, Chast, and us? Arkad listened carefully. He did not respond immediately, because the question they asked was not new. He had once asked it himself, and when he finally spoke, his answer was not complicated. It was precise. It is not what you earn, he said. It is what you keep. The words were simple, almost disappointing, because they did not sound like a secret. They did not sound like something that could change a life. But that is often the nature of truth. It is easy to hear and difficult to apply. Kobi frowned slightly. If that is true, he said, then why do we not keep more? Arkad nodded. Because this question was the right one. Because, Arkad replied, you have not yet learned how. And with that, the conversation shifted from curiosity to instruction. Arkad began to explain, not as a man boasting of wealth, but as one who understood a system, a structure, a set of principles that governed money itself. But before he would teach them, he told them a story, not about success, but about failure, because, as he explained, he had once been exactly like them. He had worked, he had earned, and he had nothing to show for it. Until one day, he met a man who changed everything. A money lender, a man named Algamish. And it was from this man that Arkad learned the first rule of wealth, a rule so simple that most people ignore it, and yet so powerful that those who follow it rarely remain poor. Arkad looked at them both, and then, slowly, he said, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. Arkad was not always rich. There was a time when he lived exactly like Bansir and Kobi. He worked long hours. He earned his pay, and at the end of each month, his purse was empty. No savings, no progress, no way forward. He began to notice something. The men around him, they lived the same way. They worked, they spent, they started again, and no matter how hard they tried, nothing changed. That was the moment Arkad made a decision. If money could be earned, then it could be understood. And if it could be understood, it could be controlled. Not long after, he met a man named Algamish, Linder, a man who dealt in gold every single day. One day, Algamish came to Arkad with a task. He needed a set of tablets copied quickly. Arkad agreed. But before he began, he made a bold request. "If I complete this work on time," he said, "you must teach me how to become rich." Algamish looked at him. Then he smiled. "Finish the work," he said, "and I will tell you what I know." Arkad worked through the night. No rest, no delay. By morning, the task was done. Algamish returned. He looked at the tablets. He nodded. And then he said something that would change Arkad's life. "If you wish to be rich," he said, "you must keep a part of all you earn." Arkad listened. He expected something more, something complex, something hidden. But that was it. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. At first, it sounded too simple, but Arkad did not argue. He acted. From that day on, he kept 1/10 of everything he earned. Not sometimes, every time. And for the first time in his life, his money began to stay. Weeks passed, then months. His purse grew, slowly, but steadily. And with that growth came a new thought. What if I could make this money grow faster? That was his next mistake. Arkad took his savings and gave it to a brickmaker. The man claimed he could travel far and return with rare jewels. It sounded like an opportunity. It sounded like progress. So Arkad trusted him. He gave him the gold and waited. But when the man returned, there were no jewels, only colored glass. Worthless. The gold was gone. Arkad had been deceived, not because he was unlucky, but because he was careless. He had trusted a man who knew nothing about jewels, and in doing so, he lost everything he had saved. When Algamish returned, some time later, Arkad told him what had happened. He expected sympathy, but he did not receive it. Instead, Algamish said, "You have paid the price for your lesson. If you would learn about jewels, go to a jeweler. If you would learn about bricks, go to a brickmaker. But do not trust one to do the work of the other." Arkad understood. For the first time, he saw his mistake clearly. It was not the loss of gold that mattered most. It was the lack of judgment. From that day forward, he made a rule: never invest in what you do not understand, and never trust advice from those who are not skilled in that area. He began again. He saved again. 1/10 every time. And this time, he was careful. This time, he learned. And this time, he did not lose it. Arkad did not become rich overnight. There was no sudden fortune, no single moment of luck. What changed was his system. He continued to save. 1/10 of all he earned, set aside, without exception. But this time, he did not let the gold sit idle. He had learned something important. Saving money is only the first step. To build wealth, money must grow. So Arkad began to look for better ways. Not faster ways, not easier ways, better ways. He spoke with men who had experience, men who worked with money, men who understood trade, and slowly, he began to invest again. This time, with care. He chose opportunities he could understand. He asked questions. He listened. And most importantly, he avoided what he did not know. The results were different. his gold returned, and it returned with more. Not a large amount at first, but enough to prove something. Money, when guided correctly, can create more of itself. This changed everything. Because now, Arkad was no longer trading time for money alone. He had something else. Leverage. His gold began to work. While he worked, it worked. While he rested, it continued. And over time, that difference grew. Small gains became larger ones, and larger gains began to compound. Arkad understood something that most people overlook. Wealth is not built by effort alone. It is built by structure, a system that repeats. Save a portion, invest it wisely, protect what you build, then repeat. Again and again. This is how his gold grew. Not in bursts, but in layers, each piece adding to the next. Until, eventually, the growth became visible. Others began to notice. How is it, they asked, that your wealth increases, while ours does not? Arkad did not speak of luck. He did not speak of secrets. He spoke of habits and discipline, because by this point, he had seen both sides. He had seen what happens when money is spent without thought, and he had seen what happens when money is directed with purpose. But there was another lesson, one that mattered just as much. Protection, because as his wealth grew, so did the risk. There were always those who offered quick gains, faster returns, greater promises. But Arkad had already learned this lesson. He did not chase them. He did not follow excitement. He followed logic. If something was unclear, he walked away. If someone lacked experience, he did not trust them. This is how he kept what he built. Because earning money is one skill. Growing it is another. But keeping it, that is where most people fail. Arkad did not fail there. He protected his gold. He made it work. He made it grow. And over time, his system became stronger than any single effort. That is when wealth begins to change form. It is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that moves toward you, slowly, then steadily, and finally, at a pace that others begin to notice. Arkad had started with nothing. No advantage, no inheritance, only a simple rule, and the discipline to follow it. A part of all he earned was his to keep. And over time, that part became everything. By this point, Arkad no longer searched for answers. He followed rules, simply honest, clear ones, rules that did not change based on mood or opportunity or pressure. Because that is where most people fail. Not in knowledge, but in consistency. Now think about this. Most people today already know what they should do. Save money. Avoid bad debt. Invest for the future. They've heard it before. Many times. And yet, nothing changes. Why? Because knowing is easy. Doing it, over and over again, that is the hard part. Arkad understood this early, so he kept his system simple. Not 10 rules, not 50, just a few that he could follow every time. The first was clear: keep a part of what you earn. Today, that might mean setting aside a percentage the moment income arrives, before spending, before planning, before anything else. But most people don't do this. They spend first, then try to save what's left. And usually, nothing is left. The second rule was just as important. Control your expenses. Not eliminate them. Control them. There is a difference. In Babylon, men spent on comfort. Today, the same thing happens, just with different forms. Subscriptions, upgrades, convenience. None of them feel large on their own, but together, they take more than people realize. The third rule: make your money work. Because if money sits still, it loses power. In Babylon, gold could be lent or invested. Today, the options are different, but the idea is the same. Money must move with purpose. Without that, it stays small. The fourth rule: protect what you build. This is where many lose everything. Not because they are reckless, but because they trust too quickly. A friend with an idea. A trend that looks promising. An opportunity that sounds urgent. The story has changed. The mistake has not. Arkad had already paid for this lesson. Once. He did not pay for it again. The fifth rule: plan for the future. Not someday. Not later. Now. Because time is the one factor that cannot be replaced. In Babylon, this meant security in old age. Today, it means something similar. Freedom. The ability to choose. The sixth rule: increase your ability to earn. Not just by working more, but by becoming more valuable. Skills, knowledge, judgment. These compound just like money does. And the final rule: to act. Because without action, none of this matters. You can listen, you can understand, but if nothing changes, nothing changes. This is where the story becomes personal. Because at some point, everyone reaches the same place. Bansir did. Working, earning, but not moving forward. And the question returns: why? The answer has never been hidden. It has always been simple. But simple does not mean easy. Arkad did not become rich because he knew these rules. He became rich because he followed them. When it was inconvenient, when it was slow, when there was no immediate reward. That is the part most people avoid. And that is the part that makes the difference. But now, nothing you've heard is new. And that is the point. Because the problem was never knowledge. It was control. In Babylon, Bansir and Kobe worked every day, just like people do now. They earned, they spent, they started again. And for a long time, nothing changed. Not because they were lazy, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they had no system, no structure, no control over where their money went. And today, the same pattern exists. Only now. It is easier to lose control. Money moves faster. Spending is invisible. One tap, one click, one decision, repeated, without thought. A small charge, a quick purchase, a habit that feels harmless, until it isn't, until months pass and nothing remains. The world has changed, but the outcome has not. People still work hard. They still earn, and many still wonder why they are not moving forward. The answer is the same as it was in Babylon. Money without direction does not stay. Arkad understood this. That is why he did not rely on willpower. He built rules, simple ones, strong enough to guide every decision. A part of all he earned was his to keep. He did not wait. He did not guess. He decided before the money arrived. And because of that, his life changed. Not in a single moment, but over time, quietly, steadily, until one day, the difference became clear. This is where the story ends. But the decision does not, because the same choice still exists. Spend first and hope something remains, or decide first and build something that lasts. The difference is small, but over time, it becomes everything. If this story gave you something to think about, consider staying with us. We share more stories like this, not to entertain, but to help you think differently about money. Because in the end, what you do next is what matters.